Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. This your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with another edifying video, right? Today's topics, we're going to talk about, hey, the men of the Lord are going to be like precious gold in the last days, right? So first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach El Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, right? That's all praises to the Most High God, whose real name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son's name, Yahweh Shai. And the Holy Spirit, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have given us the edification, who continually feed the sheep, right? All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, right? Let's get into it. All right, so like I say, today's topic is, hey, the men of the Lord are going to be more precious than gold in these last days, right? So let's get to it, right? Because we know, it's prophesied that guess what? Jacob's trouble is coming, right? So you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, y'all need to adhere of what's about to happen, man. Jacob's trouble. You are Jacob. You come from the seed line of Jacob, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the Israelites, right? Jacob's name was changed to Israel, right? Short edification, right? So, and the Bible prophesies that there's going to be a trouble like none that's ever been seen on this earth, right? So let's get to it, right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, right? Chapter 30. We'll just start right at it. And we'll start at verse number 6. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, right? So Jeremiah is seeing this vision, man, of men looking like they about to give birth. They're in so much pain and anguish, right? He's seeing this, right? But what he's seeing is Jacob's trouble, right? Let's keep reading. It says, alas, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? So it's prophesied in the scriptures, man, that there's going to be a time of trouble like as none has been seen before, right? Worse than your getting put on slave ships, right? Worse than all the captivities that we've been in. This is going to be the worst time ever, right? And it says, but he shall be saved out of it, right? So guess what? The elect men are the 1/3 of the men, women, children, the 144 ain't going to be saved out of this, right? During Jacob's trouble, right? But it's going to be hell for a lot of you Jakes and Eves out there, man, right? So let's get this, right? Let's go a little more into it. Matter of fact, let's go to Second Ezra, chapter 14, and we'll start at verse 16. Right? It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 14, verse 16. It says, for yet greater evil than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Right? So it said, for yet greater evil than those which thou hast seen happen. It's going to be even greater at this time, right? That's what that's talking about, right? Let's jump to, let's go to Second Ezra, 15, right? 15, and we'll go to verse 15. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? And we know that these modern day swords are going to be, our guns, right? Missiles, right? All your new latest weapons, man. That's the newest swords, man. Right? But it says, one people shall stand up to fight against another people, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. So at that point, when all hell is breaking loose, right, when that martial law kick off, hey, people, they're not gonna be regarding the kings and who are the kings of these presidents now, right? You got all these presidents and these different leaders. They're not gonna regard the leaders. They're not gonna hear the leaders, right? We see that happening right now, man. It's a lot of protesting going on, right? It's gonna be a lot of civil unrest, in these last days, and that's the start to come, right? So we see it happening right now, right? We're seeing that start about to happen right now, right? And it's gonna get worse and worse, right? So let's get that, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, and we're going to go to 24 and verse number 12. Right, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 12. It says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." Right? So at this time, man, right, it's going to be famine on the earth. It's going to be, just trouble all around, man. It's going to be no love for your neighbors in that day. It's going to be no love, for people who are not your own kind in this day. It's just going to be all hell. It's going to be every man for himself type spirit out there, right? Because it says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? So them people who probably once was cool and down with you and hey, man, when it's down to that last piece of bread, right, and my family got to eat, hey, it's going to be all hell breaking loose, right? This is what's about to be happening, right? Let's go back to the Apocrypha. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, and we'll go to chapter 6. We'll go to chapter 6, and let's go to verse 24. Right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 24. "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies." Right? So the scriptures say, man, right? Even your closest homie, man, y'all gonna be throwing hands. Y'all gonna be fighting possibly to the death, man. Right? It says, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs, the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." Right? So what I really wanted was, you're gonna have friends who are gonna be fighting each other like they were enemies, right? That's how crucial and how it's gonna be on this earth, man. How it's gonna be in this earth, man, during Jacob's trouble, right? It's gonna be all hell breaking loose, right? Let's get another one, right? Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy, all right? Book of 2 Timothy. We're gonna go with chapter 3. And we'll start at verse 1, right? It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boisterous, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good," right? Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, right? A lot of people rather do their own thing and fulfill their lusts than to have the love of God, right? It says, "Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away." Right? So it says, when you like these type of people, when you see this type of stuff, they need to turn away from that. You need to go away from that. Right? When you start and you see this stuff happening now, right? You got women, right, without natural affection, right? You got men who are truce breakers, false accusers. You got false accusers here in Israel, right? even amongst this so-called truth, man, right? Um, Despisers of those that are good, right? And it says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, such turn away, right? So it tells you that you need to be turned away from this stuff, right? Let's get and in that day, man, right? It's just the evil is gonna be so great, right? And don't think when it says Jacob Trouble, it's talking about your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. It's gonna be the eyes are gonna be on you, right? That those spirits, those evil, they're gonna be turned towards you in those days, right? So this is your trouble. This is where you're going to be faced and have to figure out what you're going to be doing. And a lot of you women, y'all need to get yourselves together, right? You see a lot of these women on TikTok right now, just living it up, right? You got women having divorce parties. You got women having, F and F or whatever. Whatever the little song is that they got going on now, man, right? You're gonna be calling on a man of the Lord. You're gonna be looking for a man in those days, right? When you want to be independent and you want to do all this stuff, you're gonna be looking for a so-called man of the Lord, right? A true man of the Lord. That's what you're gonna be looking for in these last days, right? When all hell is breaking loose, when you got people who gonna be trying to snatch up, breaking your house, right? Steal your food, right? Right? Might try to go in there and attack you, right? All hell could break loose, right? If you don't have a man, you don't have no protection, and you're just a sitting duck, right? And you got all these kids, right? You don't know what's going to happen, right? So let's get that. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, and verse number 1, right? The book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Right? So you're gonna be trying to cleave to a man of the Lord in these days. And we see it happening on a small level right now, man, where you got baby formula running out, right? You got, it's just all hell. You got the gas prices going to be all this stuff that's going on that's about to lead to this Jacob's trouble, man. That we try to warn you, that the Bible has been warning you for over thousands of years. It's telling you that this was going to happen, right? But you get comfortable in America. You get comfortable with its ways, right? But it's going to come a day. Guess what? It's going to be 7 women cleaving to one man, saying, listen, you don't need to buy us nothing. You don't need to, you don't even give us nothing. Only just let us be amongst you, because you are a man of the Lord. And you're right, and you can help take away our reproach, because we can be under you and be under your authority, right? And your command, right? Your order, right? According to the Bible, right? In righteousness, right? And it says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, right? So you women are going to humble down, right? If you believe it or not, guess what? It's going to happen. And if you're not, guess what? You're going to be that one on the wayside that, when they start kicking in doors and kicking in houses and you want to be independent, and you're going to have to deal with that by yourself, right? While you got, whatever's happening, man. So, you women need to humble down now and get right and get in order now, right? Because time is ticking and we're getting very close to this time. If you're not watching, if you're not seeing what's going on, right, you're going to need a man of the Lord, right? Let's get this. Let's stay in the book of Isaiah, right? And let's go to chapter 32. And I'm just going to go to verse 2, right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 2. It says, a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, right? And sometimes that wind could be like destruction, right? So a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and they covered from the tempest as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, right? So he's going to be that covering. He's going to be that shade, that protection that you're going to need in these last days, that you're going to need in the time of Jacob's trouble, right? When you think you can do it all by yourself, right? This man of the Lord, who the Lord is going to be with, right? And is going to show him through, right? Because he's had faith, right? He's continued in his faith, right? He's continued to follow in the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? Let's get another one, right? Let's stay in the book of Isaiah, right? Let's go to Isaiah 13 and verse number 12, right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir, right? And we know how precious gold is now, right? In those days, right, a man of the Lord is going to be as fine gold, right? Not your little cheap gold that you get from Habib down the street, right? I'm talking about fine gold, man. You're going to be, and you got to search for gold. So gold just don't pop up. You got to search, you got to dig, you got to kind of cipher through all the stuff, right? This is how the real men of the Lord are going to be in these last days, right? And he's going to have 7 women clinging to him, right? And 7 is just a complete number. So who knows how many, you know what I'm saying? But this is what's going to be happening, right? Because those true women are going to understand, and they're going to know they're going to have to cleave to a man of the Lord in those days, right? To take their reproach away, right? But it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir, right? And that gives me, let's go to Slovakia. Let's go to the book of Zechariah. Slovakia. Let's go to the book of Zechariah. And we're going to go to 13 and verse number 9. Right? It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined. And I will try them as gold is tried. Right? They shall call on my name and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord, right? Yahweh Shema Shai is my power, right? So, we know this is talking about, the 1/3, right? That's going to be, because we know 2/3 of our people, they're going to die. They're going to die here in America, man. They're going to die here in Babylon. They're going to die, you know what I'm saying, on this earth, right? But the 1/3 is going to be brought out of it, and they're going to be tried like gold. And we're getting tried right now, right? The real men of the Lord are being tried right now. They're being refined right now, right? They're getting all those blemishes off of you, right? So when it's time to come, hey man, you're going to be tried and you're going to be shining like gold in that day, right? So this is what we got, right? Let's go to the book of Job real quick, right? Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 23 and verse number 10. This is the book of Job, chapter 23 and verse 10. It says, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he have tried me, I will come forth as gold, right? Right. So right now, the men of the Lord, right? And during that time, the men of the Lord are going to be tried and tested, right? So we shall come forth as gold. It says, my foot had held his steps, his way have I kept and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food, right? So these men, they're going to be constantly in the word of the Lord. They're going to be constantly, right, talking about Yahweh Shai, right? They're going to be constantly uh, in this walk, man, trying to wake our people up, trying to do the work, right, trying to stay faithful, right, in these last days, man, right? And we're going to be tried, and we're going to come forth as gold, right? Let's go back to the book of Isaiah, right? Let's go back to the book of Isaiah, and we'll go back to verse 32, or chapter 32, and we're going to go to 9, right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 9, right? It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and many years ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." Right? So you women, man, who right now y'all at ease, everything, life's good, right? You look, I got 100,000 followers, on TikTok. Hey, what do you think is gonna happen in Jacob's trouble? Right? When you posting your location, you posting like where you living, where you think these people going to? Right? When all hell is breaking loose, right? And it's free fall, and everybody's gonna be breaking into houses and snatching this up and they're gonna be snatching some of y'all up. Right? This is real. This is real. This is going to happen. This is prophesied in the Bible. Right? But it says, "Tremble, ye women that are at ease." Right? I don't need no man, the government paying for my stuff, or whatever. I got child support, all this stuff that's going on. It says, "Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird your sackcloth upon your loins." Right? When you gird your sackcloth, you're humbling down. You're going to have to humble yourself. Right? That independent women spirit is going to leave. It's going to leave. Right? When men is kicking in your door. Right? Trying to take you away. Trying to take your children away. Right? Your daughters away. Hey, you're going to have to humble yourself down, and you're going to have to get yourself under the real men of the Lord, man, who are going to be tried, and they're going to be like fine gold. They're going to be like precious gold in these days, right? You're going to be looking for that, right? Um, let's go to the book of Lamentations, right? Stay on this point. It's the book of Lamentations, right? Chapter 4, and verse 6, right? Because if you women don't humble yourselves down, man, right? There's another scripture, man. Let's get this. It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, "For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown in a moment, and no hand stayed on her." Right? So guess what? It said your punishment is going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, right? For that was in a moment, right? That was overthrown in a moment, right? Who knows how long Jacob's trouble is going to last, right? You could be going through this through a minute, right? Hey, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, right, in a moment, right? The fire rained down from the sky and destroyed that place, right? But this one could be a long drug out time. We don't know, right? But it said that was overthrown in a moment, and no hand stayed on her, right? So, and it says, "For the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom," right? So, y'all gotta get yourselves together. Y'all gotta humble down in these last days, right? And find yourself and get under a man of the Lord before it's too late, right? Before all hell breaks loose, right? Let's get another one. Let's go. Because that whole, I'm good. That whole, TLC, Beyonce, damn Destiny's Child spirit, man. That's about to end, man. That's about to be done, right? That's about to be all the way done, right? Because that's not right. Because we the only people who think that we don't need each other in this world, right? The Chinese woman needs the Chinese man. You never hear them say that they don't need their men, right? The Indian man, the Indian woman never says that she doesn't need her husband, right? The only people that say that they don't need each other are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, or who is called the Israelites, right? You're the only people who say that, right? Uh, let's get this. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse number 12. It says, "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." Right? So a lot of you, you women, man, y'all think y'all doing something. Y'all think y'all doing something right. And y'all think y'all going that right way. But guess what? The way thereof, the end thereof are the ways of death. Right? Because it seemed right to you. Well, I believe. Well, that's an old book. We don't need to listen to that. No, this book has been written. It's old, but guess what? It's all relevant today. All this stuff is true, and it's happening right out. You can look outside and see this stuff literally happening right now, right? But you don't want to believe it, right? Because what you believe, what's in your heart, right? And it says there is a way which seemeth right unto a man or a woman, right? But the end thereof are the ways of death, right? So you think you got that little independent woman spirit and all this stuff, right? That's gonna be death, man. It's gonna be death for you. You don't think you need a man. You don't think you need somebody, right? You don't need a man. You don't need a covering. That's off, man, right? And let's get that, right? You don't think that the Most High is gonna judge women, right, or children, right, or elderly? Come on, man. Let's get this. It's the book of Ezekiel, right? Chapter 9. I'll start at verse 4, right? It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9. I'll start at verse 4. It says, And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh at and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right. So these are the men of the Lord, man. They crying for and sighing because they see all this wickedness happening to the earth, man. Right. And the Lord hears their cries. That He hears these righteous men's cries. Right. And it says, and to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Right? It says, Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before their house. Right? So guess what? In that day, the Lord's not going to care. Right? Woman, man, child, old, young. Right? If you not part of His chosen, and you not part of that elect, hey, man, goodbye. Right? It's not going to be no love. Hey, so you need to cleave yourself, right, to the men of the Lord. Right, and humble yourself down, because don't think, hey, you get an attitude, right, in Jacob's trouble. You think a man's gonna be dealing with that? When you get a little attitude, hey, you're gonna be left behind. You're gonna be left behind, right? Because we ain't got time for that. Don't have time for that. Don't have time to be in the emotions and doing all that stuff. When all hell is breaking loose, you need to be listening to what the men of the Lord is telling you, right? So, because the Lord is going to be dealing with these men in these days, man, right? So, and that's what men should be praying for, that Lord's will, that you are a part of that number, man, and the Lord's going to be dealing with you, right, in these days of trouble, right, so that you won't see all that trouble, right? You're going to see the 1,000 fall on your left-hand side, the 10,000 on your right-hand side, but it's not going to touch you or your dwelling, right? You and your household, right? So that's what we got to understand, man. Right? Hey, nobody's gonna be dealing with that attitude spirit out there when we're on the run, right? When we got to be pilgrims of this earth, right? And you don't want to talk and you want to walk slow, hey man, you're gonna get left behind, right? So y'all got to get yourselves together, right? Because the Lord is dealing with his men, with his chosen, right? Let's get this. Let's stay in the book of Ezekiel, right? Let's go to 34 and verse 31. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our power, right? So the flock of his pasture are men, are the men of the Lord, right? Are those chosen, right? Are those chosen men of the Lord who were chose from the beginning of the foundation of the world, of the earth, right? Those are his chosen men that have been chosen from the beginning, right? That's who his flock is. His flock is the men, right? So, we got to understand our order, right? Our order on this earth, and we got to adhere to it, right? So, let's get this. Let's get a couple more precepts and we're going to wrap it up, right? Let's go to the book of Colossians, right? It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse number 18. It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 18. It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it is fit in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? So guess what? Wives, you need to submit to your own husbands, right? Submit to your own husband. Stop going out here flaunting your stuff so everybody can see what you got. That's for your husband. Yeah, the attention is supposed to be to your husband, not to everybody else, man. Right? Submit yourself to him, right? Husbands, love your wives. And be not bitter against them. And it says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? So children, y'all need to obey ain't gonna be no, I don't want to go here in the wood. Hey, you're gonna have to go where your parents is telling you to go. Hey, and when they tell you to stop crying, and you trying to hide in the wilderness, and you need to be obeying your parents in these days. Because it's gonna be that serious, right? It's gonna be that serious in these days that we need to be in order, and we need to make sure that we are being in order, and doing what's right, man, right? And getting ourselves right. So right now we have that time to get ourselves right and get ourselves in order, man. Let's get that order real quick, right? And then we're gonna wrap it up. Right, let's get to it's the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 11 and verse number 3. Right? It's the book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, right? Or Yahushai. And the head of woman is the man, right? A lot of you people, y'all say you believe the Bible, right? But what does the Bible say? It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of woman is the man, right? It's not man, the head of man is woman. It says the head of woman is the man, right? And the head of a Mashiach is the Most High, right? So the order is the top is the Most High, right? Then his son, Yahushai, right? So you got Yahweh, Yahushai, man, and then woman. That's the order, right? That's the order, and the Most High said it that way. Who are we to deviate from it? Who are we to be who's your boy, what's it, Dwayne Wade, sitting up here, and my woman should lead. Hey, man, you not reading the scriptures and you off. And that's what's going on in your family, man. Because you not following the scriptures, man. You not adhering to these scriptures, right? You got your woman leading you, man. The order is supposed to be Yahweh, Yahushai, man, and then woman, right? And we got to make sure we're adhering to this. And during Jacob's trouble, and this is going to be very important. right? Hey, because the men of the Lord in these days, right, who are going to be like precious gold, and it's going to be hard to find them in these days when trouble is arising. You're going to be wishing that you saw them crazy dudes out there who had the little long garments on with the little fringes on them. You're going to be looking for that. You're going to be trying to look for that, and you ain't going to be able to find it, right? And then you're going to have women who just going to be throwing and cleaving themselves to it. Hey, listen, we just want to be around you because we know that the Lord is with you, right? So right now, we need to humble ourselves. The women need to humble yourselves, right? The children need to get in order. The women need to get in order, right? Because when all hell breaks loose, hey, you're going to need that man. You're going to need that man. And he's going to be worth more than gold in that day, right? So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, right? Um, Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Um, keep fasting, right? Keep praying for one another, right? Hold fast, stay diligent, keep the faith, right? Keep that faith in the last days, right? That Yahweh Shai is going to help you make it through, right? You got to have that faith, man. You got to have that faith, right? And stay in these scriptures, stay read into these prophecies and see what's going on, right? It's already given to us. The answers are already given to us. We just need to read and get it. It's an open book test, and we have it right here. We need to make sure we're studying it and getting that understanding in these last days, right? So with that, I want to give a mighty shalom, right, to the Akwaf, to the Akim, right, to the elders, right, and peace and blessings, right. Shalom.